Alright, what is up, Murktide fans? This is Twinless Twin, and we're playing versus Scam today. So, continuing the series of trying to play against some of the top matchups you're likely to face at your RC. And we are on the draw for this first game. We know we're playing against Scam because the RCs are open deck lists. Just a generic Scam list. 3 Molten Collapse, I guess, is something to call out. 2 Shieldred. 4 Fable, no Spyro. But overall pretty stock. We'll revisit the list when we go to sideboarding. But looking at our opening hand, this hand's a keep. We have a removal spell. We have a spell pierce, iteration of Murktide. They're all premium cards. Definitely a keep. If we do get grief scammed turn 1, then it's still okay. Potentially. It could still be okay. Obviously, it wouldn't be ideal, but it still could be okay. So they take the Unholy Heat. That doesn't tell us a ton. Could be an argument that now is the best time to just play this Ragavan if we have it. Potentially, if they have like a Dothy Voidwalker, they might feel pressured into using a Molten Collapse. Reduce the window they have to play Bowmasters. They also have 4 Fatal Push, but if they Fatal Push on turn 2, it buys us an extra turn before they play a threat, so I do think that now is the best time to play this Ragavan. In case they are on Dothy Voidwalker as their turn 2 play. Or potentially a Ragavan dash of their own. But I expect they'd probably play Ragavan turn 1 if that's what they had. Alright, and we do get a Molten Collapse from them, which I would consider a win. So feel good about that. Here's a spot where I actually will call it No Blood Moon's main deck, which is definitely something to look for in the Scam players list. Here's a spot where I likely would be fetching that Surveil land, but we won't be able to now. So hopefully that doesn't cause problems for us. Unholy Heat, alright, that's fine. Nothing to heat here. Counterspell's a pretty nice pickup. We can counterspell the Ragavan and then play Murktide next turn with Spell Pierce up. They have Ragavan and a couple unknowns. They know about Spell Pierce Murktide iteration. They don't know about the second iteration or Counterspell. Always good to keep track of that in your hand. In paper, you could do something like holding cards upside down if your opponent knows about them. Just some way to remind yourself. Apologies if my voice sounds nasally. I am probably a little bit sick right now. But not too sick to make some Murktide content. Oh god, that was embarrassing. I'm not posting this video anymore. Hardcast Grief? Alright. They know we have 4 Counterspell, 2 Stern Scolding, but they could still see that as being one of the highest upside plays. I made this play because I don't think Or I guess more accurately, ooh, okay, punished. I guess the Shieldred is a punish for that. I was going to say holding up Spell Pierce is probably going to give me more value than keeping a card type in the yard, or keeping 2 card types. But Shieldred is one way that we could get kind of punished for that, so maybe I was wrong. I guess... Whew, this is going to be painful. Let's play this DRC, planning to chump block with it, I think. And Preordain. Digging for Unholy Heat. Okay, Mishra's Bauble. We want... I guess we do want the Bauble and the Unholy Heat. Yep, alright. Not gonna play the Bauble yet, though. Bowmaster. Ugh. Don't be Molten Collapse as the last card. Okay. How are we gonna attack here? Be interesting to see. It's like iteration, we need to find like a bolt, or, okay. That works. Because now we can kill Bowmaster. I guess if they're holding a Not Dead After All. Well, we'd prefer for them to use it on the Bowmaster than the Shieldred, I guess, so... It does feel like they do have Not Dead After All here. Noting that... Guess we just pass. So we... Oh, that's if they flash a Bowmaster. Alright, then we will kill... Shieldred. So we go to 6. Ugh. We're drawing all our cantrips and they're drawing all of their ways to punish us for having cantrips. Play Fable. That's fine. I think the last card might be Not Dead After All, but they can't really attack yet this turn. Draw Polluted Delta. We are cruising for a bruising here. I guess we top this Ragavan. And play it out. My plan here is well, if we don't counterspell this, we just die, so we'll have to counterspell this. Fetching feels really risky here. I don't want to do that. Okay. Maybe we should have. Ooh, that was a good draw. Never mind. Do we need to use one of these baubles here? Technically, yes, but I think the stronger play is to bluff a removal spell and hope that that works. I think we're probably dead here. Oh. Interesting. I guess they probably haven't knotted after all. I mean, we're just dead here. Yeah, that did not find what we needed it to find. Alright, so sideboarding, we'll bring in the Stern Scolding, bring in that. Alright, let's see what's in their sideboard. So I see 2 Unlicensed Hearst, an Engineered Explosives, 2 Chalice, 2 Hitotsugu, 2 K Command, 1 Blood Moon, 1 Bone Crusher, 2 Magus of the Moon, 2 Legion's End. So because I see those Unlicensed Hearst, I'm going to be bringing in like Cast into the Fires, which means I have 5 cards that I want to board in. And the cards that I tend to be cutting these days is actually Dragon Rage Channeler. Oh wait, so there's no Leyline of the Voids? Because they're on the Unlicensed Hearst version. I mean, cutting 1 Spell Pierce is pretty reasonable. Do you still want to cut DRC if they're only on Hitotsugu Unlicensed Hearst? That's the question. I think I'm just torn on if DRC is then better than Ragavan. Against the Leyline version, I like cutting the DRCs, because if they don't have Leyline, you have Murktide Region available, and if they do, then at least you have Ragavan still in your deck, plus the Shredders to play off of. Because they're just playing this version with Unlicensed Hearst and Hitotsugu, I'm actually kind of tempted to like trim a couple of Shredders instead. Let me try something like this. So this is kind of reacting on... Oh. What happened there? Oh, I cut all the DRCs, oops. Reacting on the fly. But with 4 Stern Scolding, I actually think you're pretty well able to protect Ragavan, and you should probably keep that card in your deck. Starting things off with Preordain there is actually probably pretty aggressive, and we shouldn't have done that. Because if they have Grief Scam, it's less likely, but it could still happen. And you want to have Stern Scolding Lightning Bolt up. I wouldn't be surprised if they're taking Grief out in the matchup as a counterpoint. I think Pierce probably plays fine here. Has a chance to hit a Fable. Could hit a Thoughtseize. Mount Doom tells me that they don't have another land drop. It hits Hearst. Well, we already have this Cast into the Fire, but I think I'll still take the chance to convert my Spell Pierce. Cast into the Fire could hit like Bowmasters or Ragavan later. I like both of these. The question is, do we want to dash Ragavan or play it and shock? Shocking and holding up, I feel like this makes... I think dashing is better this turn. I think that just like holding up 1 blue mana makes Stern Scolding pretty obvious. Dashing lets us get that treasure guaranteed. We're still able to Stern Scolding if we want to. And next turn we can play it. The treasure is valuable. Like for example, if they Thoughtseize us or something here. Now I'm just going to play the Ragavan with Stern Scolding up. Double Stern Scolding up. Alright, it's just Fatal Push. I'm probably most scared of Shieldred and Grief here. Or not Grief, sorry, Shieldred and Fable. Counterspell does alleviate some of those concerns. I think there's actually no rush to play the iteration, so we can just wait with the counter sitting on the counterspell. The more lands you have in play with an iteration, the better. Also, we don't know exactly what we're iterating for quite yet. Alright. Maybe you're supposed to let the Bowmaster resolve a cast into the fire. But they could definitely have an Undying spell in their hand here. Alright, let's pass back. I'm torn because I do also want to get down a threat. Iteration helps dig for that, but I still feel pretty safe here. Kroxa. Alright, that creates some urgency to now put pressure on the opponent. Kroxa does give them inevitability. We're gonna see an Undying effect used too? Okay, that's okay. I think what we'll do is just get rid of this other cast into fire. Holding on to the counterspell and Stern Scolding. You draw a land, which makes this iteration a little bit nicer. Play a Ragavan and pass with counterspell up. Kroxa does take the full turn, so alright. I think we'll get an island here and start scolding this. Do you have double Bowmasters? That would be cringe. Fable. Okay. Let's get our Shredder started, I guess. Improving. Ooh, DRC. A little bit of an air attack angle, potentially. Keeping in mind Kroxa might make us discard a card. But now they can Kroxa 2 turns in a row, so the counterspell is definitely less appealing. Ooh, but an expressive iteration is pretty juicy also. So let's see. Attack, trade, and then they bring back Kroxa. We discard iteration. We hit them for 5, down to 7. They're actually they go to 6, I think. We have a lot of ways to kill them then. Alright, I'm in for this. I should have attacked first before playing the DRC, but I assume they're not taking here. My fear is primarily that we just need to kill them because this Kroxa can come back multiple turns in a row. Lots of very good draws here, though, for us. And we already have 5 power flying. Really hoping that Fatal Push is not one of the cards in their hand. Alright, we draw a brick. We are losing the race if we brick 2 draws in a row. So that's unfortunate if that happens, but or if they draw a removal spell. Actually, I guess we're able to just go to 6 here. They could activate Mount Doom to each opponent. Yeah, okay. Wait, yeah, they could Mount Doom us. So if we brick here, if we brick this draw step, we're dead. Yeah, maybe we were supposed to not play the DRC. Molten Collapse on DRC. Alright, we're dead. See you guys for the next one.